Welcome back to part 2 of the Dogs and the latest on the closure-threatened Walthamstow Stadium. Greyhound fans have protested loudly to keep the famous old venue open for business. Indeed, a spirited campaign has been led by Ricky Holloway, the London-based owner-trainer, who declined an invitation to be interviewed on this programme. The campaign has gained an impressive list of supporters.
It is the biggest greyhound track in the country, but it is one of the things that people recognise this area by. And it's a lot of jobs as well for local people.
Local MP Neil Gerrard has supported the SOS campaign from the start.
And obviously everyone realises that housing is required in London, but really this isn't the place for it, surely.
Well, of course we need housing in this area, we need low-cost, affordable housing, but not at the expense of everything else. This is a leisure facility that's been here over 70 years. Lots of people come, locals, people from quite long distances, and there's over 400 jobs here for local people as well. Jobs matter as well as housing.
It'll be a tragedy if this stadium is lost because it brings back so many wonderful memories here in North London, and B, of course, we'd be left with one Greyhound stadium in the capital. I'm told last Saturday, for instance, that they had the house full signs up. I can't understand why it's closing. I really can't. And I don't want life to become a concrete jungle for my kids. I want them to go somewhere. I want them to be entertained. And if we lose Walthamstow, it could be a knock-on effect, a card effect, a domino effect, and it could be tragic for the sport.
I mean, I've been here every week since I was 15, 27 years, great fun, great times, winning the circuit, great night, just fantastic nights. And those kind of nights are not just, they're shared by everybody, as you can hear the noise out there. No one really wants to see this place close at all, and it would be a travesty if it did.
Saturday is scheduled to be the last meeting at the track, built by William Chandler in 1933. The country's most popular greyhound venue has become even more popular as news of its impending closure spread. A night at the Dogs is being enjoyed by many people for possibly the last time, but the huge crowds might just have given the sport and the track itself a glimmer of hope. A meeting between the new owners and the SOS consortium is scheduled for Tuesday, and Greyhound Racing will be hoping that the unthinkable will not happen.
Walthamstow has long been the flagship of the greyhound racing industry. Everyone accepts it. It's set the standards. They've been the best trainers, the best greyhounds, best tote turnover, best attended track in the country. The problem you've got if Walthamstow goes, is there any track that's safe?
Across town, the only other track with a London postcode is Wimbledon, where NORAH McELLISTRIM, the new chair of the Greyhound Trainers Association, is based. NORAH has been an active member of the Save Our Stow campaign and has strong views on the issues the Stow and the sport itself now face.
My actual blame lies with the government for all of this, because if they didn't keep harping on about building more houses in England, we're only a tiny little country, and they want to build on our green belt, and they're taking all our recreation facilities away. The developers, if they knew that there was definitely going to be a no, and it stuck at no, they would not be after all these big stadiums, and the racing world wouldn't have all this trouble.
NORAH is an admirer of SOS campaign leader Ricky Holloway and how he's handled the protest.
I like passionate people, because I think if you're not passionate, you're brain dead, aren't you, really? I mean, if you've got, what a boring life if you don't get passionate over anything. And money, somebody said to me, there are more riches than money. And I think, having a passion can be much more richer. I'd forego a lot of money to have something different. Money's handy and you do need it, and I love it in lots of ways, but there's lots of things I like more.
But unfortunately, maybe the people in power in the sport and the people who own the stadiums, they are all about money, aren't they?
Well, then there's greed comes into it, doesn't it? That creeps in, because as my dad used to say, you can only eat one dinner. So if you're a millionaire, I can see there's a bit of interest in it. Why do they want to make more and more millions, and destroy people's lives? I just don't see the point of that.
If the Save Our Stow campaign was eventually to fail and Walthamstow was to close, what do you think that would say about the state of greyhound racing?
It would send a very bad message to it, because so many stadiums have closed lately, and they all make promises of building another one. Well, most of them do. I mean, White City went and they were going to build somewhere. I mean, Milton Keynes went and they were going to build another one. Reading's going, and they're saying in 2010 there's going to be another one, but that's all they do is say what's going to happen. So I think it would send a bad message that any stadium can be built on.
NORAH won the vote to become GTA chairperson in June. How's she finding the dual responsibility of running a kennel as well as heading the Trainers Association?
It's been a bit of a struggle in here and there, but I'm I'm getting on with it. I'd say everybody I've met has been very helpful, actually, not most people. We've still got to plan an annual general meeting, but there's been so much happening, what with our track, Walthamstow, and you know, things with the prize money, that it's just, and I've also had Brian ill as well, and it's been taking a lot of time up. So I hope now in the next couple of weeks to get things a bit more settled.
Are you happy you got elected as GTA chairman?
I really don't know. I honestly never thought I'd do. In some ways I thought I wish I'd done this years ago now, because I feel I've been so backward, and I'm still learning about things, and I feel I'm very slow at doing anything. So I should have done this about 20 years ago, and you'd have, because I think it'd take you a couple of years to get the feel of it and know what's going on, and I've come at a bad time really, because there's a lot of changes, and it's bad for the trainers at Walthamstow. Even if they're going to another track, it's not going to be the same as Walthamstow for them, and I'd like to try and help them a bit more, but I'm trying to think of ways around that. There is the Trainers Assistant Fund, which I think should be used to pay people's mortgages for a while, because if you don't pay the mortgage, your kennel's gone. And I would hate to see the Mullins family lose Manningtree, I think, because Linda was champion trainer 6 times, and she's still involved in the racing, and I think it would be a crime to let that place go. I think they should definitely, no matter what it takes, keep it going.
And do you think you'll be able to unite all trainers in the country to get behind a good common cause?
I hope so, and I'm going to try, because I think we have got a common cause really, and I think that trainers are more realising now that they need to stay together. We've let everything drift around, and we've been bullied and pushed, and well, not badly treated, but we have been underpaid for what service we've given for 20 years, I suppose, or more.
And news of another prize money cut at Wimbledon has been a bitter pill to swallow. NORAH sees prize money levels as being key to the future success of greyhound racing.
I don't think people really understand the importance of the owners and the trainers, and the huge importance, I know I keep banging on about it, is the prize money, because if you give prize money, you're not just giving it to that particular owner, it is spread down to the trainer and the kennel staff. So it does go a long way in helping the economics of a kennel, and your staff can have a lot more money, because that's how kennel fees are based very much on the prize money, and they're very, very low. They're much lower than they were. I mean, you take 2 years ago, RA1 was £230, now it's 110, and it's a funny old game this. It's not like normal outside world. People don't want to pay the outside prices for things, so the trainers have to help to subsidise the tracks and the owners to keep in business.
Look, the tracks will say, and Wimbledon have said, that their costs are going up and their profits are going down, so therefore they have to make some savings somewhere.
Well, they say that, but are they just using every single penny to pay off a debt that isn't our fault? I think they can regenerate more from this stadium. It's a good old money spinner, I think, and especially in the food area. It could be a little gold mine, and the restaurant here is very, very good, and the executive boxes are very good, but you need somewhere in between the burgers and the restaurant, and like a lot of people go into Wimbledon Village before they come to Wimbledon or afterwards, and so I would produce that sort of food here to keep them here, and while they're sitting here, hopefully they would have a few bets on the tote.
There's a meeting here of the Owners Association talking about the 20% prize money cut, and there was even some mumblings about resting dogs, as it were, striking.
Yes, I think that's been put on the back burner. I think we're going to try the gentle way of trying to get Wimbledon back to how it should be, and there's a lot of owners that are businessmen and women in their own right with very good ideas, and what we're hoping to do is get Wimbledon back to earning a lot of money, and then hopefully we will then, instead of that money going to pay off a debt for the GRA or mortgage, whatever you want to call it, that it will come back to prize money, and we will then generate a lot more owners and a lot more customers.
Last week saw the appointments confirmed of those who will now run the sport. The Greyhound Board of Great Britain is taking shape, and NORAH is looking forward to meeting those at the helm.
I've got no idea what they're like at all. They might be very, very nice people. I don't know whether they like the dogs. I don't know whether they've got any inkling of how greyhound racing is run, or how important it is to the kennel staff, if you like, who are at the bottom of the run, because a lot of people, they love working in the kennels. I mean, my staff, Mary's been with me for 34 years, and a lot of people, they stay in this job forever, you know, until they conk out. Even if they don't do a full-time job, they still remain part of it, a couple of days a week, a couple of evenings a week. It sort of gets you this sort of job. So I hope they appreciate what the actual kennel staff do, and that the kennel staff do need a lot more money, because we're in the entertainment business and we're not paid entertainment money.
Are you disappointed then that the people appointed are not obvious doggy people?
I don't know. They might be better than doggy people. I'll have to reserve judgment on that until I see what they do and what their thoughts are. I can't really say. I mean, I'm hoping they're going to be really good. But I think the most important thing is they're going to be really fair and open-minded and not dogmatic in views. Because there's a few people on a couple of the committees that are very dogmatic, and their views are just how they are, and then they're not going to change. And I don't know how you could change them. So I'll be open-minded and see how they get on for a year or 6 months.
The McELLISTRIM name has long been synonymous with Wimbledon. But how does NORAH see the future of Plough Lane and greyhound racing, full stop?
Well, I hope that Walthamstow is saved and becomes the second top track in London after Wimbledon, because I hope Wimbledon goes back to its old glory, because we were the home of champions, and I still think that is achievable. I feel a bit more optimistic after the Owners Association on Wednesday. There was a lot of positive vibes coming out there, and the owners seem to want to help make the stadium great again, so I think that's a good thing.
But can that happen under the current ownership?
Well, I think we've got to sort of half forget who owns it and try and do it on our own, in spite of the current ownership, because they're obviously just in it for the money, and they don't really mind who they tread on or crush or get people out of work. So I think we've got to try and make it pay, and hopefully get a really big, I'd like to get a big cooperative and give him a lot of money for this. And I hope he'd take it and let it stay as a greyhound stadium.